morning, students. In the last class, we explained about what is taxonomy, what are the objectives of taxonomy, how this particular branch useful to identify the plants. Dear students, we know that there are three important components in the taxonomy. The first one is identification, second one is nomenclature, and third one is classification. According to the Bantam system of classification, plants are classified into different classes, subclasses, series, orders and families. In the last class I explained about the Bantam system of classification in a detailed way. Dear students, in this semester 11 families are included in our syllabus. In each family I will explain today the morphological or vegetative features, floral characters and economic importance of that particular family. The first family is Annonaceae. Annonaceae, it is popularly known as custard apple family. While taking the important or distinguished features of this particular family into consideration, majority of the plants are perennial woody trees. In this family, the leaves are simple and exstipulate type of leaves. These are the simple leaves, and here the flowers are either solitary flowers, say for example this is the solitary flower, or a bunch of flowers are present. That means from each axil more than 2 flowers are present. That condition is called fasciculated or fascicle condition. Flowers are trimerous and flowers are spirocyclic in this family. The essential organs are numerous, that is many stamens and many carpels are present, and the characteristic fruit in this particular family is aggregate fruit. Annonaceae, it is already I told you a custard apple family. In Telugu it is called Sitaphalam family. Plants are cosmopolitan, that means throughout the world the family members are generally present, but mostly they are present in tropical and subtropical regions. It comprises about, the family comprises about 62 genera and 820 species, but in India about 20 and 129 species are present. While taking the habit and habitat into consideration, majority of Annonaceae members are mesophytes, that means normal climatic conditions generally they will grow, and majority of the plants, for example this is Polyalthia longifolia, Naramamidi antamu, it is a perennial woody tree, and also this is Annona squamosa and the species of Annona squamosa Sitaphalam, and this is Sampangi, that is called Artabotris uncinnatus species. So, in this family almost majority of the plants are mesophytic plants and they are perennial woody trees. Example, this is the Polyalthia plant, example for woody nature. Few are woody trees, that means woody shrubby in their nature, shrubs. The species of Annona, Annona squamosa, this is Annona squamosa, Annona reticulata and Annona muricata. These are the important species under Annona. These are example for shrubs. And some are woody climbers. Woody climbers means the plants are the weak stem, that means the tender branches are weak. These are the tender branches, Leta kommalu antamu, these are the tender branches. Now the tender branches climbs with the help of a aerial stem modification called hook. Here this is the hook in this family, in this plant, and it climbs with the help of hook. So in Annonaceae family the plants are perennial woody trees or shrubs or woody climbers, they are called lions. While taking the stem into consideration, this is the stem, if you observe the stem, aerial, the stem is erect, it grows straightly erect and it is brown in its color, See the color of the stem, it is brown, and also the stem is cylindrical in its nature. This is the stem cylindrical in its nature. But while taking this particular plant, this is called Sampanga, Artabotris uncinnatus into consideration. The tender branches are weak, means leta kommalu balahinanga untayi. The tender branches are weak. So, with the help of hook, this particular tender branch it climbs. So, the woody climbers are called lions. In this particular plant, hook is useful for climbing. The stems are hairy and cylindrical because it is a dicotyledonous plant. Definitely the stems are hairy in its nature. And while taking the stem into consideration, another important point, the stems are branched. If you observe Polyalthia longifolia, the conical shaped branching is present, whereas in Annona squamosa, umbrella shaped. If you observe this particular one, see this is Polyalthia longifolia. If you observe the growth of this particular plant, a conical shaped branching is observed, whereas if you take Polyalthia cananga odorata or something Artabotris uncinnatus and Annona squamosa plant, umbrella shaped branches are present. The branching is like umbrella. This is with regarding to the stem in the Annonaceae family. While taking the leaves into consideration, leaves are both colline and ramal. That means both they are present on the main stems and also on the lateral stems. Colline means on the main axis, ramal means lateral branches. In the entire family, if you observe, the leaves are simple. For example, this is simple leaf. What is simple leaf? From each node, if only one leaf is developed, that condition, or undivided leaf lamina. Imagine this is the leaf and the entire leaf lamina is undivided. So, it is a simple leaf, both colline and ramal, and the leaves are alternate. You know what is the meaning of alternate leaf? Imagine this is one node, this is node, this is node and this is node. From each node one leaf is developed. That means, and another node, this is one, right, left, right, zigzag manner. That condition is called, if you imagine, see, this is one node and this is another node and another node like this, zigzag manner. That condition is called alternate type of phyllotax. And the leaves are exstipulate, that means no stipules at the base of the petiole, and here this is the petiole, petiolate. The leaves are petiolate, exstipulate. Okay. Now, while taking this plant into consideration, that is Annona squamosa, the Polyalthia longifolia, the leaves are long. If you observe the lamina, here the leaf, this is the length of the leaf. They are lanceolate, chala podavuga untayi, lanceolate type of leaves. If you observe the Annona squamosa leaf, imagine this is the Annona squamosa. The leaves are ovate, lanceolate or ovate. Next one, in Polyalthia, if you see the one, the leaf margin is wavy. If you see the leaf margin, this is leaf margin. The leaf margin is wavy and this is leaf tip, this is acute. Leaf margin wavy, leaf tip acute. Whereas with regarding Artabotris, in case of this is Sampanga, if you observe the leaf margin, see entire leaf margin, this is entire leaf margin, and in Annona squamosa, this is the leaf, here also the leaf margin is entire and the leaf tip is obtuse, little bit like this. So, the leaf tip is acute, pointed ga untundi in case of Polyalthia, whereas in Annona it is obtuse leaf tip, and in all the cases the leaf shows reticulate type of venation. See, this is the midrib and the lateral veins. Reticulate, unicostately reticulate type of venation is present in this family. So, dear students, with regarding to the leaf, presence of simple leaves, exstipulate type of leaves, one is primitive character and another one is advanced character with regarding to the leaves. The primitive character is presence of simple leaves, and the advanced feature is absence of stipules. Now, we will take in the floral characters into consideration. Floral characters means reproductive characters. Beginning with inflorescence, the position of the inflorescence, maybe it is axillary or terminal. Axillary means in the axil of the leaf. Terminal means the terminal bud modified into a inflorescence. Now, with regarding to this particular family, especially for example, in Polyalthia, if you observe the inflorescence, a group of flowers, imagine a group of flowers, 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers from the older stems. That condition is called calyflory, formation of flowers on the woody branches or on the main stem, that is called calyflory, and also presence of more than one flower from each place, that is called fascicles. Fascicle condition is observed both in Polyalthia longifolia and also in case of the Annona squamosa. See, this is one flower and another small flower also, see. So, more than one flower is developed from one place, that condition is called fascicle condition. With regarding to Artabotrys uncernatus, this is Artabotrys uncernatus. Here the peduncle, if you see this one, the peduncle is like hook. It is modified into a hook like structure, and this hook is useful for climbing. So, the modification of peduncle in the form of a hook in case of Artabotrys uncernatus. So, in majority of Annonaceae members, cymose type of inflorescence is present. Maybe it is solitary cyme, that means single flower, or fascicle type of cyme, that is a bunch of flowers from that particular point. While taking the flower into consideration, it is very interesting and important. Flowers are bracteate. You know what is the meaning of bract? The place where the flower is developed, that is called bract. So, the flowers are bracteate and the bracteoles are absent, so are present. So, if they are absent, bracteolate condition, if they are present, bracteolate. So, depending upon the twig, there are 82 genera in this particular family. So, the flowers are maybe bracteolate or bracteolate. The third important point with regarding to the flower is, here this is called pedicel. The flowers are pedicellate. If you see this one, flowers are pedicellate. Now, flowers are complete. What is the meaning of complete flower? If all the 4 floral leaves are present in the same flower, that is the floral leaves means calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. If all the 4 floral leaves are present, they are called complete flowers. If the flower is complete, automatically it is a bisexual flower. That means male and female sex organs present in the same flower. That condition is called bisexual flower. Majority of Annonaceae members generally having bisexual flowers. Unisexual condition is very rare. That means unisexual condition is present in 1 or 2 plants. That is in case of Staphylocarpus plant, where we can see the unisexual flowers. And flowers are actinomorphic. What is the meaning of actinomorphic? If you cut the flower through any plane, that means either through longitudinal section or oblique section, if 2 equal halves are obtained, that flower is called actinomorphic flower, and in almost all the members of Annonaceae, the flowers are actinomorphic. But in Monodora is the one of the member belonging to this family, where the flowers are zygomorphic, unequal flower, that means the petals are unequal. Because of that, the flowers are zygomorphic in that particular plant. The flowers are dichlamydious. What is the meaning of dichlamydious? If perianth in 2 orals, you know what is perianth? The first 2 orals of the flower, that is calyx and corolla. If perianth in 2 orals, that condition is called the dichlamydious condition. So, flowers are arranged, that means the floral leaves or the perianth lobes are arranged in 2 orals. Imagine, for example, this is the first oral, very small sized bottom green colored structure. If you observe, this is the calyx and this is the second oral of the flower. If you observe, this is the second oral. So, if perianth in 2 orals, first, that is dichlamydious. If perianth is in same color, that means both outer whorl and inner whorl, that is calyx and corolla in the same color, that is called homochlamydious condition, that means same color. If they are in different color, that is called heterochlamydious condition. Here both homo and heterochlamydious condition is observed. For example, if you take sampangi, best example for in the beginning when the flower is it is in immature condition, unripened condition. If you see, this is the calyx, see this is the calyx, first whorl of the flower, green in its color, and this is the second whorl of the flower, okay, green in its color. That means perianth is arranged in two different whorls, but they are in same color, so homochlamydious. If the same flower when it is in mature condition, that means when it is ripened, if you observe the Artabotrys flower, slowly it turns into yellow color. So at that condition it is heterochlamydious in its condition. Another important distinguished feature, dear students, in this particular family, Annonaceae, even though it is a primitive most family under Ranels, that is included under Ranels, but here the flowers are trimerous, very important point. What is trimerous? See, in each whorl, if you observe the flower, 1, 2, 3, 3 perianth lobes are present, 1, 2, 3. Here also in Annonaceae squamosa also, if you observe the flower clearly, see 1, 2, 3. That means 3 perianth leaves are present. That condition is called trimerous condition, and it is the characteristic feature of Annonaceae family here. Next, another important family point in this particular flower is generally the first whorl of the flower calyx, the second whorl of the flower corolla, third whorl of the flower androecium, and fourth whorl of the flower gynoecium is present. That condition is called generally the cyclic nature. But in this particular family, the first two whorls means K and C, calyx and corolla, Rakshaka, Akarshaka Patravali antamu. Ee rendu kodanu, they are arranged in a cyclic manner, one after another. But while taking the next whorl into consideration, that is the, see this is the third and fourth whorl, like conical structure. The third and fourth whorl of the flower, that means androecium and gynoecium, arranged in a spiral manner, that means they are arranged spirally. Hence the flowers are spirocyclic flowers. In this particular family, the flowers are called spirocyclic flower. Another important point here, generally the base of the pedicel, here this is the base of the pedicel and this is the tip of the pedicel. The tip of the pedicel is called thalamus. The thalamus generally it is a condensed portion, like just condensed. But if you observe in this particular family, in this particular diagram, you see, this is thalamus. The thalamus, it is elongated. See how the thalamus is elongated. Almost the thalamus is elongated in the form of a conical shaped structure. You see, this is the long elongated thalamus. The modified elongated thalamus is called torus. This is the entire portion is called torus. On the elongated torus, androecium, the basal portion, if you observe, this is the male reproductive organ, nothing but stamens are present, and this is the terminal portion and gynoecium is present. That means on the elongated thalamus, A and G, that means androecium and gynoecium, they are arranged in a spiral manner. Hence the flowers are called spirocyclic flowers. Dear students, the flower in Annonaceae family, it's a very interesting and very important because it shows a mixed characters. What are the important mixed characters if you remember? The flowers are no doubt they are complete, but if you observe the flowers, trimerous condition is present. Trimerous condition generally it is observed in monocots, a highly advanced class in angiosperms. But here we are observing the trimerous condition in this particular family. Another important one, the most primitive, that is presence of spirocyclic flowers. That means the primitive most character. The thalamus almost it is in the form of a conical shape, the elongated structure, conical shaped structure like this. On the elongated thalamus, you observe generally the androecium and gynoecium are present in a spiral manner. Hence the flowers are spirocyclic So, the three important distinct features, one is trimerous condition and third one is spirocyclic nature, and the another important one is modified thalamus. The modified thalamus is called torus or it is called receptacle. And depending upon the shape of the elongated, that is modified thalamus, if you observe in Annonaceae squamosa, common plant, you know, this is sitaphalam. Okay? In this particular fruit, if you take LS and if you observe the fruit, you can see a elongated, that means conical shape, okay, conical shaped thalamus or elongated torus is present. Whereas in Polyalthia longifolia, say now this is already fruit, but if you see the fruit, this is the thalamus. The basal portion is the thalamus, this is the one. Almost it is a disc-like structure. That means the shape of the torus varies depending upon the plant, but here the two examples now I am explaining, where here in Annonaceae squamosa the torus is a conical shaped structure, whereas in Polyalthia longifolia here the torus is almost a disc-like structure, a disc-like, here this is the thalamus, disc-like structure is present. So, this is with regarding to the flower in the family Annonaceae. Already I told you the number of sepals, 3, that is calyx, the first whorl of the flower, calyx 3. The sepals are free, here the sepals are free, this is the flower. The first whorl of the sepals free, polypetalous and valvate type of estivation. And while taking the corolla into consideration, the number of petals, corolla means petals, the number of petals varies, 3 or 6. For example, if you take annona into consideration, imagine this is the annona flower, very small in its size, now it is in immature bud condition. Basal you can see 3 sepals and these are the 3 petals. So, 3 plus 3. But with regarding to this, see Sampanga, okay, the first whorl of the flowers 3, the sepals, whereas the inner whorl it consists of 6 petals. That means outer 3, inner 3. They are arranged in 2 whorls of 3 each. These 3 are the first and later another 3. So, 6 petals arranged in 2 whorls of 3 each. And if you observe the petals, now this is the Annonaceae squamosa petal, sitaphalam yokka petal. It is fleshy. Chudagane chudandi, fleshy, thick. Here also the petals are fleshy and thick with valvate or imbricate type of estivation. So, because the flowers are trimerous, that means 3 petals or sepals in each whorl, that condition is called trimerous condition, but the number of whorls it may be varies. For example, in Annonaceae squamosa, the perianthropes are 6 arranged in 3 plus 3 condition, 3 in the outer whorl and 3 in the inner whorl. But while taking Artabotrys into consideration, outer sepals 3, but inner whorl 6 petals are present and they are arranged in 3 plus 3 condition with valvate or imbricate type of estivation. Now, while taking the androecium into consideration, already I told you the androecium and gynoecium arranged spirally on the elongated thalamus. The flowers are arranged on the elongated thalamus. Numerous stamens are present, the stamens are numerous. And while taking the single stamen into consideration, this is the stamen, if you imagine. The filaments are very, very short. If you observe the filament, this is the stalk of the filament, that is stalk of the stamen. The stalk of the stamen, this is filament is very short, whereas the anther lobes, this is one anther lobe and this is another. The anther lobes are fleshy. That is the very important point with regarding to the stamen of Annonaceae member. Now, in addition to that, this is called connective. Connective is the place where the filament attached to the anther lobes. Anther lobes, imagine anther lobes and the filament. For example, this is the filament and the anther lobes are attached like this, like this, like this. Now, this place is called, this joint is called the connective. This is called connective. Generally, the connective is suppressed, but in this particular family, see the diagram, the connective it grows like this. The connective it grows along with the stem, anther lobes. Okay, 2 anther lobes on either side కనిపిస్తున్నాయి కదా. So, the connective it grows along with the anthers and it forms a hood-like, that means padagalaga untundi, a hood-like structure. Hence, the stamens are called hooded anthers. Another important feature in this particular family, presence of hooded anthers. Hood is nothing but the elongation or protrusion of the connective beyond the anther lobes, and it forms a hood-like structure. Hence, the stamens are called the hooded anthers. Anthers are dithecous. Now, all of you please see, this is one theca and this is another theca. That means dithecous. Anthers are dithecous and they are spirally arranged on the elongated torus, extrose. The stamens are arranged in extrose manner and they split in a longitudinal manner. So, this is with regarding to the stamens. Stamens are numerous, that is the first point, arranged spirally on the elongated thalamus, second point. Third important point, they are polyandrous. What is the meaning of polyandrous? Poly means free, androus means stamens. Even though they are numerous stamens, but they are free from one another, and if you observe the single stamen, the stalk of the stamen is very short, that is filament is very short, anther lobes are fleshy and thick, and the connectivity grows beyond the anther lobes and it forms a hood-like structure. So, hood-like structure. Hence, it is called the hooded anthers. Anthers are extrose, dithecous, and they split in a longitudinal manner. That is with regarding to the androecium. Now, while taking the gynoecium into consideration, gynoecium means female reproductive organ. Female numerous carpels are present. For example, if you take this particular plant into consideration, imagine this is one flower. This is one flower. And this is before fertilization, this is the stalk of the flower, and this is the torus, and these are the carpels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how many carpels? Numerous carpels, more than 3 or 4 are present. So, multicarpellary. If more than 3 or 4 or 5 carpels are present, that condition is called multicarpellary condition. This is one flower. Next, the carpels are free. See this, each one is one carpel. Carpels are free, apocarpus, and all the carpels are arranged spirally on the elongated receptacle or elongated thalamus. If you observe the diagram, the last slide, this is the carpel, the female reproductive organ, and this is the one. See, this is the one carpel. It shows a single carpel with a single ovule. This is the ovule with parietal placentation, this is the style, and this is the stigma. So, each carpel it shows a single ovule and the style, and it ends with the stigma, pointed stigma, and the ovary is superior. In this particular family, the ovary is superior. So, this is with regarding to the gynoecium in this particular family. Now, this is the floral diagram of floral formula and vegetative characters. This is the twig of Annonaceae squamosa, and this is the LS of the flower. Now, if you see the diagram, this is the torus and this is the elevated torus. On the elevated torus, these are the essential organs, and this is the carpel. See the single ovule, style, and stigma. And if you observe this floral diagram, the number of perianth lobes 3, outer 3 and inner, and you see the number of the carpels, numerous carpels, they are arranged in a spiral manner inside the floral diagram. Okay. And while taking the pollination into consideration, you know, flowers are entomophilous and they are protandrous. That means male reproductive organs matured when compared to the female reproductive organs, and flowers are sweet scented in order to attract the insects at the time of pollination. Because of entomophilous nature, protandrous condition, and sweet scented nature, definitely the cross pollination, that is entomophilous, that is insect pollination, occurs in this particular family. Another important point with regarding to the fruit, here a characteristic type of fruit is present, that is called the aggregate fruit. It's the characteristic feature of the family. What is aggregate fruit? See, the numerous carpels is a primitive type of fruit. All the carpels unite together and it forms a compound fruit-like structure, but when the fruit it becomes mature, the carpels are free from one another. See, this is the one in Annonaceae squamosa, aggregate fruit. Here all the carpels are fused. But when the fruit it becomes mature, the carpels individually they are free from one another. But while taking the Polyalthia longifolia into consideration, this is Polyalthia. See, this the numerous carpels, but they are apocarpous. Already I told you, that means they are free. That means free from one another. That is why after fertilization, see, each one is a fruit, but it is not a fruit. A fruit like berry, fruitlets antam. See, 6 fruitlets are there. Each carpel it becomes modified into a berry like, fruit like structure, but it is not a fruit, fruitlets. So, a bunch of fruitlets, they are free from one another. See the difference between the fruit of Sitaphalam and Polyalthia, Annona squamosa and Polyalthia. Here all the fruit carpels are unite, fuse, and it gives a single fruit like structure. But in Polyalthia longifolia, all the fruitlets, that means each one is one carpel, the fruitlets are free from one another, but each fruitlet is like a berry, that means fleshy berry is present. Next, another important point while taking the endosperm into consideration, a primitive type of endosperm, generally the remnant of the after fertilization, generally endosperm is consumed, but in some plants inside the seed still the endosperm is present. Such seeds are called endospermic seeds. Here ruminate type of endosperm, this particular topic it is generally in the embryology it is included. What is ruminate endosperm, why it is called a primitive type of endosperm, that we will discuss in the branch of embryology in the next course of time. Now, while taking this particular family into consideration, see, this is the endosperm of the one, and see the endosperm it shows enfoldings into the seed, and this is the fruit, Polyalthia longifolia fruit. These are the individual carpels or individual fruitlets, and this is the aggregate fruit in Annona squamosa. And at the end, if you observe the some important plants and economic importance of the economic importance into consideration, there are a number of species in Annona, Annona squamosa, Annona reticulata, Annona muricata, all these are the important plants. The fruits are edible, fleshy pulp is edible, and also all the plants are medicinally important in this family. If you take Artabotris, that is Sampanga, species of Sampanga into consideration, generally the flower buds are used for perfume preparation. And another important genera in this family, Polyalthia, there are 2 important species, one is Pendula and second one is Longifolia. Polyalthia longifolia and Polyalthia pendula are the evenutros, on either side of the road shade trees ga penchutu untam. So, the Annona, Polyalthia, Artabotris, these are the major commonly growing species in our country. So, dear students, if you observe the Annonaceae family into consideration, it is one side, it is a primitive most family because of woody trees, because of simple leaves, because of solitary flowers, spirocyclic flowers, torus modification, numerous essential organs, actinomorphic flowers, bisexual flowers, aggregate fruit. These are the primitive most features with regarding to Annonaceae. But at the same time, there are 2 important distinguished features, closely advanced features. One is exstipulate leaves and second one is trimerous condition. So, while taking this particular family into consideration, along with the primitive characters, we can see few 1 or 2 advanced feature also. So, with this I will complete the Annonaceae family that is included in your syllabus. Thank you. I am going to explain the Cucurbitaceae family, another important family that is included in our syllabus. Cucurbitaceae, it is popularly known as the gourd family or squash family, and it belonging to the class Dicots, subclass Polypetalae, and the series Calciflorae, order Passiflorales, and the family Cucurbitaceae. While taking the distinguished features, the most important features of this particular family into consideration, almost all plants are weak stemmed plants and they are annuals. That means 1 year growing plants. Presence of tendril is the characteristic feature of this particular family, and presence of bicollateral vascular bundles, another important family. Leaves are simple and they are extrapolate, and flowers are unisexual flowers. In Annonaceae, I explained the flowers are bisexual, but in Cucurbitaceae completely the flowers are unisexual. And another important advanced feature in this particular family, we observed the fusion of stamens, union of the stamens observed in this particular family. And the ovaries tricarpillary syncarpous unilocular with parietal placentation, and the ovary is this inferior ovary. The fruit is called pepper fruit. So, presence of the weak stemmed, presence of tendril, presence of the simple extrapolate leaves, unisexual flowers, fusion of stamens are the few important features with regarding to this particular family. Cucurbitaceae family cosmopolitan in its distribution, but mostly they are present in tropical and subtropical regions, and here in this particular family, the family consists of 110 genera and 640 species. In our country, mostly this family is cultivated for vegetable plants. Habit and habitat of this particular family, majority of the plants are mesophytes, means almost 99% of the plants are mesophytes. Commonly they are present in the normal climatic conditions, but rarely we can see the xerophytes. Acanthosis is an example for, a rare example for the xerophytic plant. Almost all the plants are annual or perennial herbs. You know what is the meaning of herb? A small sized plant. This is the small sized plant, or if you observe this one also, an annual herbaceous or perennial herbaceous plants. But very rarely we can see the shrubs, perennial shrubs, that is acanthosis is a small tree or a shrub, perennial shrub. Almost majority of the plants in this family, it climbs, that already I told you, weak stemmed plants. It climbs with the help of a tendril. This is the tendril, a watch spring like tendril. So, all the weak stemmed plants, entire family, the stems are weak, so climbs with the help of a tendril. Presence of tendril is the characteristic feature of this particular family. The stems are aerial. If you observe the stem, see for example, this is the stem, this is the stem. The stem is aerial, see, but this is weak. See the stem how it comes down. So, the stem is weak, aerial, weak, and the color of the stem is green, and you see the herbaceous nature. The stems are branched, and if you just turn the stem like this, it shows angular nature. That means the stems are angular in this nature, and if you press the stem like this, it little bit it's soft. So, festular, and if you touch the stems are rough to touch, that is hairy in its nature. So, presence of aerial, weak, herbaceous, angular, 5 angles untai. If you observe the stem, angular and fistular type of stem is the characteristic feature of the Cucurbitaceae family. Rarely we can see the woody stems, that is presence of, in case of acanthosis, the stems are the woody stems. And dear students, in this particular family, the fruits are very large in their size. Say any fruit in Cucurbitaceae, the fruits are larger in their size. Why the size of the fruit is very large means only one important condition, phloem is welled up when compared to the xylem. That is why the fruit stores more amount of food materials and it increases the large size because of the presence of bicollateral vascular bundles. This is the family distinguished feature. The stems possess bicollateral vascular bundles. That is why the size of the fruit is large and they accumulate more amount of food materials in the fruits. Leaves are both colline and ramal. The leaves are simple, palmately simple type of leaves like our palm, and leaves are exstipulate leaves, petiolate, hairy, acute or obtuse with reticulate type of venation. Generally tendrils are present in the axils of the leaf or opposite to leaf, and they are useful for climbing of the weak stemmed plants. With regarding to the leaf, presence of exstipulate type of leaves is the characteristic feature and also advanced character in this particular family. Imagine this is the leaf, see, observe the leaf, this is the leaf, palmate leaf, and this is the petiole, and this is the tendril, and the leaves, if you observe, long petiole, palmately lobed leaf, and also the type of venation is palmately reticulate type of venation. Stipules are absent at the base of the petiole, hence they are exstipulate type of leaves. And while taking this is very important point with regarding to Cucurbitaceae tendril. What is tendril? Tendril, if you observe, this is the tendril. This is a watch spring like, see the diagram, watch spring like structure, and it is a sensitive and it is useful for climbing like structure. So, a watch spring like sensitive green aerial stem modification is called a tendril, and it is useful for climbing. Regarding origin of tendril, there is a lot of controversy according to the Braun. Regarding the, this is the one according to the Braun, maybe it is a bracteole modification, and later Muller explained it is a leaf modification, maybe a part of the leaf or a stipule, it becomes modified into a tendril, and that is useful for climbing purpose. So, regarding the morphology, origin of morphology, nature of morphology, how it is developed, from where it is developed, function is okay, but from where it is originated, regarding that there is a lot of controversy among the scientists. But finally, there are two important conclusions. One is a bracteole modification, and majority of the scientists under the opinion that tendril is a that stipular modification in Cucurbitaceae family. Now, while taking the inflorescence into consideration, flowers are solitary in female. If you observe the Cucurbitaceae family, now the position of the flowers may be axillary. See, this is the flower, axillary flower. See, this is the axillary flower, the position. The flowers may be solitary, may be single flower, or sometimes generally the racemose type. Generally, in general, the female flowers are solitary. See, only one fruit, that means one flower. So, generally the female flowers are solitary, means oka flower matrame vastundi, whereas the male flowers are arranged in the form of a simple racemes or corymbs. That means in Cucurbitaceae family, with regarding to the formation of flowers, the female flowers always they originated in a solitary manner. If you see the diagram, this is the twig. See, solitary flower means one fruit after fertilization. This is female twig. While taking the male twig into consideration, more than flowers, that means simple racemes or corymbs are developed in this particular family. Next, while taking the flower into consideration, the flowers are bracteate, bracteolate, pedicellate, incomplete. Already I told you, no, unisexual flowers. Incomplete means unisexual. Unisexual, again you have two conditions. If both male and female flowers are present in the same twig, that is called monoecious condition, or in different twigs, that is called dioecious condition. Rarely we can see the bisexual condition in Cucurbitaceae members. The flowers are pentamerous. The flowers are pentamerous. Another important character in this family, the flowers are epigynous. You know what is the meaning of epigynous condition? See, this is the pedicel, and this is the gynoecium before fertilization, and this is the first whorl of the flower calyx, and this is corolla. That means above the ovary, the remaining floral parts are present. Imagine this is the ovary. Ovary మీద కనుక మిగతా floral leaves కనుక ఉన్నట్టయితే, that condition is called the epigynous condition, and this is the very important advanced feature. The flowers are brightly colored. Cucurbitaceae flower, see, epigynous condition. This is the basal part of the ovary. This is the basal part of the ovary, and this is the corolla, calyx, and if it is the female, you know, this is the female flower. See the male reproductive organs in the rudimentary condition, reduced condition, staminodes condition. Now male flower, already I told you they are produced in male flowers in large numbers. The number of sepals are 5, corolla also 5, they are gamopetalous, larger in their size, with free or united with valvate type of estivation, and androecium 5 stamens generally in this family. There is a lot of controversy regarding the number of stamens and fusion of stamens in this particular family. For example, if you take Favelia into consideration, most member in Cucurbitaceae, here the 5 stamens are free, that means there is no fusion. But in remaining members in Cucurbitaceae, there is a cohesion, that means union of the stamens. Union of the stamens means maybe filaments are united or the anther lobes are united. So synandrium condition also observed in highly advanced members. For example, in Cyclinthera, the highly advanced Cucurbitaceae member, where both the stamens and the filaments unite together and it forms a compound column like structure that is called synandrium. Syn fusion, andrium means androecium. Synandrium is the advanced character and highly advanced feature in the Cucurbitaceae member. The anthers are in some members like the Cucumis and in Coccinea, the stamens are arranged in 2 plus 2 plus 1 condition, that is 2 stamens in one pair, 2 stamens another pair, and 1 stamen becomes free, that is 2 plus 2 plus 1 condition, and they are extrose. Anthers are extrose and they split in a longitudinal manner. This is the diagram, it shows union of the stamens. Say for example, Favelia free stamens, in Mymodica and in these species little cohesion is observed, whereas in Cyclanthera in the last members the filaments and the anthers fuse together, it forms a column like structure that is called synandrium condition. If you take the female flower into consideration, here the female flowers generally solitary and the number of sepals are 5 with valvate or imbricate type of estivation. The number of petals are 5, they are fused, gamopetalous, another important feature, gamopetalous with imbricate type of estivation. Because it is a female flower, generally androecium is absent, but in the primitive flowers bisexual condition is observed. That bisexual condition now it is in the form of the reduced or rudimentary stamens are present even in the female flower. That condition is called staminodes. The number of staminodes also varies from 2 to 5 depending upon the genera. In this particular flower, that is in the female flower, the ovary is tricarpellary, syncarpous, trilocular or unilocular, with many ovules on parietal placentation, style terminal, and stigma it splits into 3. So, and the ovary is inferior. If you observe this fruit, the LSA fruit, this is the transverse section of the fruit. See, this is the fruit. How many carpels? 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2, see 3 at the center if you see. So, all these are the seeds. That means there are 3 carpels, they are fused together, and but it gives a single locule structure, but in some species it is trilocular and ovules are arranged in parietal placentation and the ovary is inferior. These are the floral diagrams of the family Cucurbitaceae, and this is the fruit. The characteristic fruit, మీ అందరికీ తెలుసు దోస సొర పుచ్చ వీటన్నిటిలో కూడా the fruit is called a pepper fruit. This is the pepper fruit. You observe the pepper fruit. Now in this particular fruit, the outer wall it is the thick, it is called rind, and the mesocarp, this is called the mesocarp, and the endocarp is fleshy. Inside this fruit we can see the hard structures, they are nothing but the seeds. So this is the characteristic feature of the Cucurbitaceae family. The type of fruit is called the rind type of, this is the Cucurbitaceae fruit and the fruit is pepper. The seeds are, if you observe the seeds are the dicotyledons, 2 cotyledons are present and they are non-endospermic in their nature. While taking the economic importance of the family into consideration, majority of the plants, the fruits are used as vegetables. That is, if you take the Coccinea or Lagenaria or Trichojanthus or Mymodica, that means Kakara, Bira, Sora, Donda, Akakara, Chittikakara, all these are the vegetables, and few are the edible fruits. Say for example, pucha, Citrullus vulgaris is a pucha, and the fruits are edible and some are medicinally important. Dear students, these are the some important distinguished features and the floral and vegetative characters of the family Cucurbitaceae. Finally, I will give 2 or 3 important distinguished features in this particular family: presence of weak stemmed plants with tendril and presence of exstipulate leaves, unisexual flowers, then presence of the union of the stamens, that is called cohesion of the stamens, parietal placentation, inferior ovary, and the fruit is prepo. These are the very important distinguished features of the family Cucurbitaceae. Thank you. Welcome students. Now I am explaining the very important highly advanced family in Polypetalae, that is Apiaceae. It is popularly known as Umbelliferaceae, and the family it is commonly known as carrot family, and it consists of the 295 genera and 2850 species, and majority of the plants are annual herbaceous plants and they are aromatic. While taking habit and habitat into consideration, plants are mesophytes. Almost all the plants are annual herbs. Say for example, vamu, Carum capticum, coriandrum, dhaniyalu, or Dacus carota, it is a biennial plant. Carrot, మనం రోజు వాడేటువంటి carrot is a biennial plant, and very rarely we can see the perennial plants. Perennial means more than 2 years. Example, Blueferum. And majority of the plants are herbs. Very rarely we can see the shrubs. And Centilla, Saraswati Aku antamu. Centilla is a prostate climbing herb. It climbs with the help of again the tendrils. It creeps on the surface of the soil. See, this is the diagram of carrot. It's a biennial plant, and this is the Centilla asiatica, Saraswati Aku. See, the stem, it creeps on the surface of the soil, hence it is called a prostate one. And this is the root. An example, the root system is taproot system, and in carrot the root the taproot it becomes swollen, and it stores the reserve food materials, and the shape of the root here is conical shaped root. Next one, the stem is aerial, weak, green, herbaceous, and branched in coriandrum, in carum, but rarely we can see the woody stems, that is in case of angelica. In this particular plant the stem is woody, and the stems are here the stems are rich and fistular in nature, and in Centilla asiatica the stem is prostate stem. It creeps on the surface of the soil, whereas in Pseudocarum the stem, the swollen nodes are present on the stem. All the aerial parts of the plant including leaves are aromatic in Apiaceae family. Aromatic means some smell. This is the leaf, both colline and ramal, but in that is in carrot the roots are radical. That means reduced stem మీద నుంచి వస్తాయి కాబట్టి radical. The leaves are compound. Presence of decompound leaves. You know what is the meaning of decompound? The leaf lamina dissected variously. Here this is the leaf lamina. For example, if you take coriandrum into consideration, the kothmira, this is the leaf. See, this is the entire leaf. The leaf lamina, it is divided into numerous segments. See, this is the leaf lamina. Along with the leaf lamina, even the veins also dissected. So, the presence of decompound exstipulate leaves, the characteristic feature of the leaves, whereas in Centilla, if you observe the slide, in Centilla, here this is the slide, the leaf is simple leaf. If you observe the leaf, this is the simple leaf, and the shape of the leaf, if you observe reniform shaped leaf is present. This is the only plant where we can see the simple leaves, whereas in other plants like this, the leaf lamina dissected in this family. The most important point in this family is presence of compound umbel type of inflorescence is present. This is the compound umbel. Here the branches are present. At the tip of each branch we can see the number of flowers. All the flowers are here. This is the flower. So all the flowers are brought to the same height, hence it is called umbel, means it is a guchchamu antamu. A compound umbel type of inflorescence is present in this particular family. Rarely we can see the solitary flowers. Flowers are smaller in their size, presence of zygomorphic flowers in some flowers, but in general actinomorphic flowers are present. Another important point here you see above the ovary, this is the one above the ovary, yellow colored, we can see a disc nectar secreting dish that is called stylopodium. Presence of stylopodium is the another important point in Apiaceae members. The number of stamens are 5, they are free, that means polyandrous in their nature. Anthers are dithecous, intros, and they split in a longitudinal manner. And this is gynoecium. Ovary is bicarpellary. See how many carpels are present, 2 carpels. Syncarpus with single ovule on axial placentation, and above the ovary we can see the stigmas and styles, and the above the ovary this is the stylopodium. Above the stylopodium these two are the styles and the stigmas. And see, this is the floral diagram, and tiers of ovary, if you see 2 locules, in each locule 1 ovule with axial placentation. And this is the floral diagram of Coriandrum sativum with 5 stamens, bicarpellary ovary. And while taking the fruit into consideration, the fruit is called cremocarp. See, this is the cremocarp fruit, and when the fruit it becomes mature, dhaniyalu we know, so it splits into 2 equal halves. 2 equal halves. Each half is called mericarp, and the 2 mericarps are connected together with a carpophore. This is the carpophore. And in this particular family, carrot is a vegetable, and Apium graveolens is another important one. The continents, say for example, Ingua antum, Ferula foetida, or Carum capticum, or Somp. All these are the aromatic plants. They are used as a condiments and also carminatives in our daily dishes. And few plants are medicinally important, Centilla and the other important plant, the Apium. These two are the medicinally important plants. Dear students, in Apiaceae, presence of annual herbaceous plants, presence of decompound extimpellate leaves, presence of compound umbel, presence of epigynous flowers, inferior ovary, stylopodium are the important distinguished features. So with this, now I complete the family Apiaceae. Thank you.